Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for Leicester against Arsenal this Saturday lunchtime. And we've got an absolutely fantastic Saturday for you in the Premier League. Man City against Newcastle, a 3 o'clock game. We'll be live for that as well. But we kick off with a 12:30 Leicester against Arsenal. There is literally no place to hide for Arsenal. Striker issues, all sorts going on. But they have to win. They have to win. Arsenal obviously trying to hunt down Liverpool. And I think I don't think it's going to be very easy as we look at the league table here. But I've got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling about Arsenal today. I just think that the door has been slightly left ajar by Liverpool's draw with Everton. And Arsenal need to follow it up with a win. But I mean, look, Arsenal will be red-hot favourites to win this game. And I'm going very niche and controversial to say that I think Leicester will get something because Leicester have been bloody terrible. But I just think this is the sort of game where Arsenal can struggle. And I'm just going to go with the Leicester draw. That's what I'm going to go with. What were you doing at the start? Oh, I was going for like the hipster thing, on the overlap where they do all that fake scripted stuff about setting up and that. I just thought I'd actually do what I really do when I start up, is have a little bit of a stretch and make sure everything's in ready. Just a bit of realism at the start of a watch along. Team news is coming in, of course. We'll get that for you as well. Let me just get ready. But yeah, looking forward to the fixtures today. As I said, we are doing Man City against Newcastle at 3 o'clock. But there are other games. Villa, Ipswich. Can Rashford get his first goal? Will he start? Fulham, Forest is a very interesting game. Southampton, Bournemouth. Can Bournemouth win there and keep their thing on track? West Ham, Brentford as well. So there's some interesting 3 o'clocks, but the biggest one is Man City, Newcastle. What that's doing as a 3 o'clock, I just don't know. I just don't know there. I really, really don't. But that's the way it is. Team news for you. Let me get it on the screen. So Arsenal, let's start off with them. They are the favourites in this, of course. No Martinelli and no Havertz. They're out for a long period of time. Havertz out for the season. But they do still have a strong back five. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly, Odegaard, Partey, Rice is a strong midfield. And Nwaneri, Trossard and Sterling as their front three. They're going to be very reliant on that sort of backup front three now, because on the bench there's not really anything that you can throw on from the bench that's attacking, really. You've got people like Kieran Tierney, Ben White, Zinchenko, Neto, Marino, Kivior, Jorginho, Calafiori and Butler, Oyedeji. So they've got Sterling starting because they really don't have anything else, with Saka, Martinelli, Jesus and Havertz all out injured at the moment. I think Arsenal will have a strong defence, they'll have a strong midfield, and they will hope that they can create the chances for those people up front just to get them a goal or two and maybe rely on a clean sheet again. Leicester, not seen a lot of Leicester under Van Nistelrooy. Hermansen, Justin, Faes, Ockley, Christensen, Ndidi, Samari, Al Kanous, who I think is a good player, the number 11 actually. Ayew, Cordova Reed and Vardy. Look, Leicester, what can you say about Leicester? What can you say about Leicester? The league table doesn't lie. If you ignore Man United in there, that's a joke. That's just weird. But Leicester third from bottom. Wolves play Liverpool tomorrow away. A Leicester win takes you out of the bottom three, puts pressure on Wolves, who won't beat Liverpool, we don't think. So they've still got something to play for, Leicester and Ipswich. They've only got something to play for because Wolves are so bad. I was looking at this league table and I thought, you know what? Go back to the league table. Go back to the league table. We're not finished with the league table. Go back to the league table. I was looking at this league table and I thought, you know what? If Wolves weren't having such a bad season, they'd all be relegated. Like, Leicester are 10 points behind West Ham and Everton. So it's only Wolves that have really generated a bit of a relegation battle. But look, that's the reality. Wolves haven't got a points deduction. They're having a bad season. So for Leicester, these are the sort of games where you're not going to get loads of chances in the Premier League to survive, and it's all about momentum and confidence, isn't it? And if they can get something out of Arsenal, it just gives them momentum and confidence, I think. So we're up and running here. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Right, let me share the tweet here. How are we all doing? I need to talk to you a little bit about that Man City stuff last night. We did react to it, but I feel that there's a there's another story there. So let's see what happens with that. There we go. Leicester on the attack here. He won't keep that in. It's gone for a goal kick anyway. Gone for a goal kick. Come on, Leicester, says Lee Berman. Can you do a poll on who will win? I mean, I was thinking about it, but I just... You know, I'm here for entertainment purposes, and I really find this boring. I really do. I mean, Leicester against Arsenal, poll on who's going to win. I mean, I'll do it because I've been asked, but... I like interesting things. I find this sort of poll really wasted time because it's going to be massively Arsenal, isn't it? There you go, though. It wasn't me who did it. It was asked for in the community. Come on, Leicester, says Dave's. Random videos, thank you. We're one injury away from the dog up front and Wanry and a dream for the league, says James, says Korak. The lineups are going around the screen, Lee. You should have turned up on time. Trossard. I mean, yeah. I mean, looking at Arsenal's front three of Nwaneri, Wanyeri, sorry, Trossard and Sterling. One more injury, and you are in trouble. But they've got a good back four, and they've got a good midfield, and that might just be enough for Arsenal today. We'll see. Now that we're up and running, actually, let me just remind you that we are sponsored by Manscaped on the show today. I have got my Manscaped. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Precision engineering for your family jewels. But not just that. They do a load of other stuff as well. They've got the beard trimmer. They've got lawnmower for down there. They've got the weed whacker for up your nose. They've got the handyman for a clean shave when you're out and about. Loads of fantastic products delivered to your door. You can get 20% off with the code FOOTY and free worldwide shipping. So grooming just isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good. Whether you're gearing up for a date or just tackling the day, the right tools make all the difference, and you can certainly get those from Manscaped. The best male grooming products I've ever bought, and I've been buying them for a long time. Not as long as some people think, but I have been buying them for a long time. You can feel the quality in your hand. You get real power. It's got lights on it as well if you need that sort of thing. Waterproof. Absolutely fantastic. Check it out through the link in the description. Skin safe blade heads for a fresh start. Cuts through the forest with ease. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Links in the description. Use the code FOOTY and you'll get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. So no matter where you live, it's free worldwide shipping and 20% off. Check it out through the link in the description or scan the QR code. Big shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring the show, and big shout out to everyone tuning in this Saturday lunchtime. I feel a bit hot. So what, the heating better not be on, or I will not be happy. Can't be on. No. Don't need to be on. Temperature's going to go up this week in the UK anyway. 13 degrees, apparently, on Wednesday. Anyway, enough of that. Arsenal on the attack. Odegaard puts it out for a goal kick. Creativity is going to be the thing for Arsenal. I think they'll be worried about that today. Where are the goals going to come from? I've watched Arsenal a couple of times in recent weeks, and they've sort of got to, like, creativity's been a big problem, even with Havertz. So... I am doing the 3 p.m. games, British guy. I thought it said something else then. British guy. I thought the U was an A. Which would be fine. You know, nothing wrong with it. Mark, please support Arsenal, says Rachel. I mean, I do actually want Arsenal to win because I want a title race. I'm not gonna deny that. But I just got a bad feeling. I think Arsenal are a very, very good team, but I think they're going to drop points because they've left themselves short up front. So I'm going to go with a draw in this game. NAU's given us our first super chat. You can do that through the $sign, by the way. Basically says, just listen to the podcast on England's Euro 96, dentist chair, the music, the English media on Germany. What did this tournament mean to you? I mean, it was mid-90s. Football was amazing in the 90s. Music was amazing in the 90s. Film was amazing in the 90s. And I was leaving school going into my teenage years. So it was just a great time. TV was better. Yeah, it was a good time. But, you know, you look back on those times with red-tinted glasses, I suppose, to a certain extent. But, yeah, a different time. Actually, that reminds me about the dentist chair. Did you see... I mean, I never know whether to take it seriously, but I saw a clip last night of Jack Grealish coming out of a nightclub, looked pissed, was saying to some blonde girl, follow me home or something like that. So, you know, they were absolutely going in on him that, you know, he's meant to be married now or something, and he's cheating on his girlfriend allegedly. He's pissed up in the middle of a season allegedly. But a lot of the replies were going, go on, lad, you know, this is what we want to see in the modern game, you know. But I just thought, if that's Marcus Rashford, it's reported completely differently. I don't think you should be out on the piss in the middle of a season. I don't think. I mean, you can say, go on, lad, it's great, but I don't think it is great. I don't think you should be drinking during the season, full stop. And I certainly don't think you should be out on the piss in nightclubs during the season at all. I mean, when would that have been as well? I mean, Man City played Real Madrid. I mean, it's a big week for Man City. You've got Real Madrid on Tuesday, Newcastle today, and then Real Madrid on Wednesday. And he's out on the piss. I don't know. I don't think he is injured. I'm sure he played against Real Madrid, unless he went off injured in that. I don't know. But you know, in a footballing sense, Grealish is a wasted talent. Whether he's wasted that himself or whether Pep wasted him by taking him to Man City, I don't know. But I think he was. He went off injured during the game, so yeah, he's on the piss injured then, isn't he? But I think going to Man City was a terrible move for him. Odegaard, little dink. Trossard, straight at the keeper. Was he onside? Bit of a chance. Not a great chance. It was slightly above him, but did steer it towards the goalkeeper. Easy save, but a warning for Leicester there. They've just left Trossard completely. And he would have been offside. Yeah. Maestro says he pulled his hamstring, then he pulled a blonde. Stats board is wrong. Well, I don't know why it is wrong. It says Leicester versus Arsenal on it. We are watching Leicester versus Arsenal. He was offside anyway. Wouldn't have counted. Right, Leicester on the attack here with Ayew. Cut back. Ooh, good header away by Rice. Edge of the box, Ndidi, straight at the keeper. I mean, that's something I said somewhere, and I can't remember where. But I think the problem for Arsenal comes if they concede first. I think if you've got no attack and you can keep a clean sheet, you're probably going to get a goal somewhere or the other. But if they concede first, that's where I think Arsenal will start to query themselves mentally and go, how are we going to score 2 goals? So I think it's really important for Arsenal that they don't concede first in games like this. Apparently, Obi Martin might be considered for Manchester United tomorrow. I mean, look, I talk about that more on the United stand. That would be very exciting. He's only just turned 17. We got him from Arsenal, but in a way, do you not feel like you're being mugged off by Ineos again because, hey, we've got this really cheap striker that's going to be the future and he's going to take years and years to be the future. So he's the future and he's cheap. Let's use him. Let's use him all the time. That's the future. It's going to take years and it's the future. And then the future in 4 years' time when he's 21, we sell for profit back to Arsenal or something like that. I just don't trust what Man United are doing now. Everything's cheap and about the future. And I really like the player and I want him to do well, but I wouldn't trust them if he did well to sell him anyway. Isak has 3 years on his contract, so he can't just leave, and we're going to get Champions League this season, so he's going nowhere, says Liam. Newcastle, 3 o'clock against Man City, Liam. Fancy your chances? I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Very interesting game. I mean, if Newcastle win that game, they've got the same amount of points as Man City, and they've got the same goal difference as Man City, so it's a fifth versus sixth as well. Man City's next game is Liverpool, so it's a really big game for Manchester City. I think they will beat Newcastle, to be honest. What did Robbie say? Robbie said Newcastle win. I've gone with the draw. I think Man City will win, to be honest. Yeah. I can't believe it's a 3 o'clock game, though. I mean, what's the 5:30? Crystal Palace Everton? I know they have to share the games out, but this is what I mean. Give the best person the job. Can't be doing with all this fairness. First prize wins first prize, not the person who's crap and slow. Put the best on. Do you want City to beat Liverpool next week? Says Marco. Cross into the box. Edge of the box. Blocked by Leicester. Do I want City to beat Liverpool? I think a draw. A draw will be enough. I don't think I could ever say the words I want City to win, to be honest with you. Apparently, that video we did last night about Man City and this case that they've won isn't going to be as significant for Manchester City as some people think. Because it could still end up with them being in trouble. So watch this space on that. Oh God, I've never been so tired doing a watch along. I don't know what's wrong with me. What did I eat before I did this? I feel like I've just had a massive loss of energy. I think we need to stand up. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if I'm coming down with something. I feel hot and tired. It's not like me. I normally feel cold and energetic. I wasn't up all night. I had a good night's sleep. I just feel off. I feel really off. I don't know why. I didn't. Mark's whited live on air. Well, if I've whited live on air, that's about a 25-year delay, mate. Do you want City to beat Liverpool? Thank you for your super chat, Marco Stone. You can do that through the $ at all as well. Low on vitamin D? Yeah, probably Atletico, yeah. Low on something. Cross into the box, Arsenal clear it away. Interesting first 15 minutes here. I wouldn't say Arsenal have been dominant. Game still needs to settle into patterns, but Leicester quite well organised at the moment. You're just waiting for that moment of quality from Arsenal. Like I say, it's really important that they don't concede first. Bad ball by Odegaard. It's whether Leicester have got the quality in this game. Should have just done the 3 PMs and left this game, says Channel of Chuck. I can always stop if I want to. Fans are protesting at Leicester, says Akona. Internal review, you don't have a clue. To be fair, he doesn't look like he's got much of a clue. Can't even get his tie straight. These are the people running football. Mark, do you honestly think Man City's punishment will be points deduction and how much of a relegation or nothing, says Devon? Look, in relation to Man City at the moment, the 115 or the 130 is being dealt with, and we will find out the result of that soon. I'm sure there will be appeals. Man City are appealing loads of other stuff. The tribunal they won yesterday was to do with APT rules between 21 and 24, where the Premier League were basically saying that, you know, you can't have Etihad Airways, etc., blah, blah, blah. But the most important thing from that is that the FMV, fair market value, was deemed to be okay, which is quite significant. So if Man City want Etihad Airways to sponsor their shirt, they can't actually get them to give unfair market value. So if Adidas are sponsoring Man United's shirt for 50 million a year, and Man City want Etihad Airways to do it for 200 million, that still wouldn't be allowed because it wouldn't be fair market value. So that hasn't actually changed. What has changed is that you can potentially get more business from companies that the owner owns, etc. So it's not like it's going to have a massive impact on the 115. And also, I do think like Man City are challenging the Premier League on absolutely everything. Are they doing that as a bargaining process so that they can sort of go, well, look, if you don't do this, we won't do that? On the other hand, are they antagonising the Premier League, pissing them off all the time? So I still can't read it. I can't read it. I don't know which way it's going to go. What I'm absolutely confident of is, regardless of court case or not, Man City have been very, very successful since 2008 because they've done things other clubs didn't do. And I don't think that's up for dispute. It's just whether they get found guilty of it or whether they get punished for it. They've certainly put money into that football club in a way that other clubs haven't done it. It's just whether that's deemed to be an offence or not. If Man City get found not guilty, it doesn't mean they didn't get money into their club the ways that other people did. It just means that it's been deemed okay to do it and everyone else should have done it. So that's the way I read it. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Mark, yes, I genuinely don't know which way it's going to go. But you know, the facts are out there that they have done stuff other clubs didn't do. It's just whether they get found, whether they get punished for it, or whether it's sort of like we can't do anything about it, you know. And ultimately, that comes back on the Premier League. I mean, I sort of query why Man City were Man City allowed to do it for so long, you know. Leicester goalkeeper's good, says Alex. He is very good, very good. It's a good shout. Football versus homophobia. I don't necessarily want to go down that road. Well, I certainly don't want to go down the homophobia road. I'll get cancelled. But what I'm saying is, I don't think football does do enough on that. And we are here to talk about anything, you know, controversial or not. You're telling me that in the UK, 1 in 8 men are gay. And yeah, in all these hundreds of footballers, not one of them is. I don't think football does enough. It's not woke, Joe. There are actually people who are gay in society. So it's not woke, like you're homophobic if you've got a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it, funnily enough. I don't really care. I just think, you know, it's a bit like well, it's not like it, but I just think there are some things in football that just absolutely amaze me. Yeah. None of your business, says 1 in 8 is garbage. Mate, I could take you into pubs and it's, you know, it's 8 in 8. You go down the gay village in Manchester, mate, it's more than 1 in 8. You got a problem with that? Good start by Leicester, though. They'd be quite happy with this so far. Arsenal, predictably, looking like a team that hasn't really got a lot up top. Offside Sterling. Thank you very much for your super chat. Doyle Sports, he says, you're tired because you had a busy day yesterday with the missus, says Dial. I'm probably tired because I had a busy night out on Thursday night. And, yeah. I hate Sterling, says Christian. There's an interesting thing about Raheem Sterling. If I can find it. Yes, he was only 30 in December, and he's been shit since he was 28. Explain that to me. What is it? That's good play by Wanyeri into Odegaard. I think he's offside there. Trossard's gone too early. Explain this to me. In the modern game, I've played the game. I'm getting my energy back. Stand up. Tell you what, if you're feeling sluggish, stand up. My wife always says to me, if you're feeling a bit sluggish, stand up and do a bit of hoovering or a bit of tidying up. I say, no, I'll stand up and go and play a bit of darts. You know, I enjoy it more. And I still stand up. I think she wants me to help out with the cleaning, but I do enough. I help out in other areas. But I like a bit of hoovering anyway. It's good for the soul. But my point is, when you look at Jack Grealish and you look at Jadon Sancho and you look at Raheem Sterling and you look at Marcus Rashford and you could throw other names in, the ages that they fell off is incredible. Sterling sort of fell off at 28. Sancho basically fell off at 23. Rashford sort of fell off at sort of 24, 25. Grealish fell off at what? 26, 27. Why are all these players falling off and why is it not more of a topic? I'll tell you why they're falling off, in my opinion. Too much, too soon, lack of motivation, got everything they need, the fire goes out. It doesn't happen with everybody. It's not happened with De Bruyne, it's not happened with Mo Salah, it's not happened with Ronaldo, didn't happen with Messi, but not everybody has the same personality. You know, your friendship group, you're all different, aren't you? And if I made you all millionaires, some of you would still want to work. Some of you would be like, forget that for a game of blockbusters. I'm off on holiday for the year. And that's the same with football. Just because you're talented doesn't mean you've got the mentality. And surrounded by yes men, says Bob, yeah, but you know what? You know, when you wake up in the morning and you've got whatever you want in the bed with you, because let's be honest, that's what happens with footballers. You've got all the money in the world in the bank. I just think some of them they just mentally check out. The world they've got, they're set for life as well. I mean, if you earn 100 grand a week for 3 years, you're set for life. 100 grand a week, you're taking home 5.2 million a year. So easily a couple of million in your pocket after tax. For 3 years, 6 million. You're done. Mate, if you can't live off 6 million for the rest of your life, you're a bloody idiot. And that's on 100 grand a week. Some of these lot are on double that, treble that. So, yeah. The fall off is mad. Alejandro says, I'm glad I decided to stay up. I always enjoy your streams. Hope you get your energy back. It's coming back. Alejandro thinks I've stood up. Thanks for your super chats. Jace has come in with another super chat as well. I think Haaland's long contract is so that his sell value is way higher on there. Off chance they found guilty and lose a lot of money in sponsors. His contract length makes him easily over 100 million. I will say this publicly here, and maybe somebody will know somebody, but if you're an ex-player, recent ex-player, get in contact with us. That's footballmedia@gmail.com. And you can tell us one or two things. You can tell us about your contract, or you can tell us that you've got an NDA that you can't tell us anything about your contract, because footballing contracts are absolutely incredible. They are... Thank you. They are more mysterious than a female's toilet in a club. I mean, what goes on in there? I've been in a few in my time, but I was very drunk and I was busy doing something else. But we can come back to that. But a footballer's contract is crazy. Like, There are relegation clauses in most of them. There are bonuses in most of them. There is playtime in some of them. And yet, they are the most unpublicised. Even ex-players don't talk about them. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I would just love to know how many have relegation clauses in and what's the value in those relegation clauses. Because a lot of them have them. A lot of them have them. A lot of people are getting a bit worried about the toilet. I said the women's toilets. Have you never, well, some of you might not have had girlfriends and stuff. Have you ever been in a restaurant or out on a night out with some of your mates and their girlfriends? They go to the toilet together and they're gone for half an hour. Yet, when you go to the toilet, it's a quick, sometimes you don't even wash your hands, you're back within 60 seconds. I think they've got like TVs and their own little bar in there, you know, bit of music, bit of DJ, something's going on in those toilets. Maybe it's just the friends and stuff I've been out with, but they're in there for bloody ages. And they always go together as well. And my vision of a women's toilet would be you walk in, a couple of sinks, and then maybe 3 closed cubicles to have a piss or a shit. So what are you going in it together for? Should Arteta change his system given injuries, says Mark. I like it, Mark. Yeah, I mean, obviously not. They're going in there to make out, says Chico. Well, if they are, could at least film it. Not my thoughts, the thoughts of Chico. He said that. Thunderdome. Yeah, it's not been good from Arsenal. They're going to really struggle to stay in this title race. It's a hard watch, and not in a good way. Leon says, I always wash my hands. It disgusts me how many men don't wash their hands. Filth. Yeah, look, I'd say 90% of the time I do. If we're having a good conversation, you know, I try to be as quick as possible. But there is a contradiction to it because you wash your hands, you open the door to leave the toilets, and those people that didn't wash their hands have opened that same door. So even though you've washed your hands, you're getting all the germs on it again. Let's not get into it. You could use your sleeve. Omar says, remember when Ireland was City's best player? No fans. He was a funny one as well. Players that were good for a little period of time. Here we go. Trossard. No, not quick enough and offside. Players that were good for a tiny period of time and then sort of fell off. Stephen Ireland. Definitely one of those players. Stephen Ireland. Oh, similar sort of position. Lee Hendry at Aston Villa. Remember that he had that like 6 months where he played for England and Villa, and I don't know what he did before or after that. Oscar at Chelsea. Well, he went to China, and I think he was very happy there because he never came back. Michu at Swansea was another good one, yeah. James Beattie. Rio Coco, yeah. Casemiro at United's not really true, Sam, because he won 3 Champions Leagues. He had 1 season at Man United, but I think you can't put Casemiro in the same category as Simon Ireland and Stephen Hendry. Lee Hendry. Stephen Hendry was a very good snooker player, shit footballer. He fell off big time. Now, I think Leon Osman was around a lot longer. Every time I used to watch him play for Everton, I always thought he was a good player. Sigurdsson, something else happened with him, Frankie. Mark, can you name at least three England wingers with 10 solid years of performance? I find this bad with recent examples, says Krishna. Chris Waddle, but that's not recent. Saka's the only one, really, in the modern game that shows any level of consistency. Not necessarily for England. David Beckham, of course, would that be recent enough? Yeah, we do struggle with English wingers' consistency. I mean, look, being a winger is all my life has been inconsistent. I mean, you think about people like Aston Villa again, Tony Daly, so many wingers on their day that were, unbelievable. But how many days did they have? Look at Anders Limpar at Arsenal and people like that. Giggs wasn't English, Greg. Oh, can you remember Nzogbia? I mean, there's a name from the past. I mean, he was like, whatever happened to Nzogbia? And remember Lauren Robert at Newcastle as well. I mean, they would literally, you'd turn Match of the Day on and you'd go, my God, they are unbelievable. And then, yeah, just disappear. Raya, sweeper keeper, Gabriel Strong. Free kick. Oh, is that a free kick to Arsenal? No. Ben Arthur was another one as well, yeah. Duncan AI, thank you very much for your super chat. He says Vardy. I feel so much better since I've stood up. I can't explain how I just had a massive drop when I sat down. Duncan says Vardy to United with the lap to be decent would be decent despite age. He's in great shape. Starts every Premier League game and score 15 again this season for a poor team. Presses well and used to scoring from little service. Mate, if you want Vardy at your club, sign him up. I don't want anywhere near United. Come on. Let's get real. Here we go. Sterling would have been a penalty if he hadn't fouled himself. At least you can send him back. I mean, Chelsea. Let's talk about Chelsea for a moment. You've got problems. You ever seen that film Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore? And she goes, Molly, you in danger, girl. That's not Patrick Swayze, that's Whoopi Goldberg. And I feel like going, Chelsea, you in danger, boy. They are in danger, right? You want to know why? They've got to keep Jadon Sancho, unless they finish in the bottom half of the table. So they've got to keep Sancho, who clearly is a tough project. Raheem Sterling's going to come back. That's a tough project as well. So Chelsea got a few interesting things to deal with in the summer. And you can always buy a shiny new toy, of course you can. But, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, his contract doesn't run out for another 2 years, Raheem Sterling. June 2027. So, massive money as well. Demi Moore in Ghost was hot, says Ute. Whatever happened to her? She fell off. She did fall off, actually. Few Good Men, very good. Didn't like G.I. Jane, but I like A Few Good Men. The film, come on. She's in Landman. I want to watch that. I tell you what I'm watching at the moment, that Lockerbie on Sky with Colin Firth in it. I mean, I always knew about Lockerbie, but you know the opening, 10 minutes when the plane blows up? Fucking hell, I didn't realise that. Just what a horrendous fallout on that village. It's horrific. Four days before Christmas as well. Not that doesn't. I mean, that's irrelevant. But my point is, it's just absolutely horrific. I've only watched episode 1, but it looks good. In an educational way. Where should Sterling go next, abroad or stay in the Prem? Well, he's just had a shot. Now, this has gone for a corner. Now, I think this is where this really boring Arsenal performance could excel, because this is where they're going to have to look to get these goals. They're not scored from a corner for a long time, have they? Who do you think will win, Tottenham or Man United's games? I mean, in a way, I'm really interested. In a way, I'm really embarrassed. Smith's given us a super chat. I remember when Stephen Ireland wouldn't go to the World Cup because he lied about his mum breaking her back or something like that. Yeah, I think he had a few, didn't he admit to a few sort of mental health issues, which obviously, yeah. It was a different time then as well, you know. Probably didn't get the support and consideration he deserved. James Adams, I'm going to drop you off out of the chat for that. It's not funny. No one talking about the most likely outcome. 115 charges, surely 10 to 20 are undeniable. If it's not guilty versus not guilty, but how they adjudicate justice, says Jeff C. Thank you very much, Jeff. David has just won the Champions League with Leicester in 2030. On FM 24. Is there actually a way that I could, like, redo the 99 season on Football Manager? Like, somebody said to me that they've got, like, add-ons you can get where you could play the 99 season. I wouldn't stream it. I'd just love to... I probably wouldn't even be United. I'd probably, like, be... Juventus or something like that. I'd just love to do that. You can. Loads of people saying you can. Yeah, it'd be good fun, that. It wouldn't be for anybody else's pleasure, just mine. When's FC 25 coming back, says Liam. Oh. The intention was to bring it back, but I've got to be honest. I tried to play it a couple of days ago and I just turned it on and I was like, oh, this is just quite depressing. Is anybody really playing it now? Say says, also, rest in peace to Chelsea, 1905 to 2025. The highs and lows of football can be described by the Blues. You know what, though? Can I just say, there's a load of Chelsea fans who are really moaners. You got Rory the Tory and all that lot who just moan because they want to get proved right about Maresca. You're fourth place. You're in fourth place in a very competitive league. I know you've only won 2 of your last 5, and at Christmas you should have been in a title race. But there was, as much as I said you were in a title race at Christmas, you're also having a bloody nosebleed. Like, you were way ahead of schedule. So I still look at Chelsea and I go, all right. It's not good to lose to Brighton, but Chelsea aren't Liverpool. They're not Arsenal. They're not Man City. They are a work in progress. They don't have a striker. They're still a very young team, and they still need a lot more work. And yet, they're in fourth place. So I don't think that Chelsea's... If Chelsea finish in the top 5, I think they've had a very good season. And I look at the next few games. Look, Villa against Chelsea next week on Saturday is massive. That is a massive, massive game. They've then got Southampton at home. Then they've got Leicester at home. Then they've got Arsenal away. So if they could take 9 from 12, they'll still be in the top 4. Their finish to the season, from April, they've got Spurs at home, Brentford away, Ipswich at home, Fulham away, Everton at home. I mean, that's a very, very good April. It's a tough end to the season, to be fair. Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, United, and Forest. But I think if they get top, I'd judge them at the end of the season. Hugh says, Mainu's injured. Agate and Collier are doubts, says Hugh L14. Okay. It was always going to come out. Thanks for the updates. The funny thing is, that means that Casemiro's starting, and this is a guy that Amorim has been phasing out and won't pick, and he's going to have to pick him now. I don't know how long the Mainu injury is. I'm just looking to see where it's actually coming from, but Kobe Mainu, it's coming from the Athletic. Mainu, Agate, and Collier all injured this week. Mainu's injury is expected to keep him out for more than a couple of weeks. And Agate and Collier major doubts. I mean, it just gets worse. The funny thing is, well, it's not funny at all, but I did say this on the United stand this morning, that the injury issue's not gone away. Does that make Spurs favourites tomorrow? Yeah. Games are won and lost in the midfield. I think Arsenal are competitive in this game with Odegaard, Rice and Partey. But, yeah, you'd probably play Casemiro, Bruno as the 2, and then play Garnacho, Ahmad, I suppose. Is Mainu a bit injury prone? Do you think Isak will go to Liverpool, says Keith? 44% of you went with an Arsenal win, Leicester win 28%, and a draw 28%. I moved through that because I want to use Keith's super chat as a poll. Will Isak leave Newcastle this summer? I think it all depends on whether they've got Champions League football and whether anybody can actually afford him. What we know about Arsenal is that they have probably got 100 million. What I don't know about Liverpool is, have they got 100 million? And also, if Liverpool lose Salah, Van Dijk and Trent, they don't make any money from it really, do they? I don't think. So would you spend most of your budget on Isak, who replaces neither Salah, Trent or Van Dijk? So I don't know whether Liverpool financially would look at that deal. I don't know whether it's the right deal for Liverpool. I certainly think it's the right deal for Arsenal. I think Newcastle would love to keep him, but yeah, I mean, somebody said he'll go to Barcelona. I mean, they'd need more bloody levers than the local pub. Yeah, it sort of works. Yeah, where are they going to get that? Angelo says, what's your favourite football film? I do like The Damned United. I think it's just really well acted and interesting as a story. Arsenal surely have some more academy ballers coming through, says Games. What that Man United can get. Finn, thanks for your super chat. Lovely Irish name, Finn, by the way. Talking of which, I think it's in the live chat and in the video description. Our live show is on March the 19th in the middle of Dublin, Temple Bar. Fantastic area of Dublin, right in the middle. We're in the Olympia Theatre and doing a live show there, and it's going to be cracking. So if you want to get yourself down there, if you live in Ireland or Dublin, you're very welcome. Or if you fancy a couple of nights away or a night away, get yourself some tickets. It'll be a cracking night. Links in the live chat for that. Check Fabrizio. Let's have a look. Mainu suffered an injury and can be out for weeks. Manuel Agate and Collier also set to be assessed by Man United staff ahead of the Spurs game. Okay. Well, we knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time. Arsenal into the box. Going to be a corner right before half time. It's been a bad half, this. Gotta say, it's not been the great. It's not been great. And you feel like, look, if Arsenal win 1-0, they'll be over the moon. just got to battle and get the result, haven't you? But it's not been pretty, and I think most Arsenal fans will be looking at it going, you know, this was our big fear without having players who can play up front, left short by not getting anyone in January. Gabriel heads it towards the goal. Keeper's going to get that. He's so good in the air though, Gabriel, isn't he? That can't be good. 3 out for Man United and 4 back for Tottenham. Look, Amrim's been left short. We should have done more business in the January transfer window. We didn't. Cinema Drunk's a Liverpool fan. That Everton draw was tough, but seeing Arsenal play like this, I feel better about that point away from home. Yeah, I mean, look. 4 minutes added on here. And Arsenal, next few games. I mean, look, if you're Arsenal, you'd look at the next 5 games and say, we could win all 5. Maybe Liverpool with the games that they've got, Villa away, Man City away, there could be more opportunities. You've got to win your next 5 if you're Arsenal. You've got Leicester here, you've got West Ham at home, you've got Forest away, you've got Man United away, and you've got Chelsea at home. And you'd look at those and go, all right, there are difficulties there. As much as Man United have been terrible, they did knock you out the cup, and we are at Old Trafford. Chelsea, there we go. Leicester has messed that up. Absolutely messed that up. Terrible first touch. Still there on the attack. Little dinky cross. And yeah, I think they've messed that up there, Leicester. Nice ball by Vardy, though. Into the box. Crowded box. And Declan Rice will just boot that clear. But yeah, I mean, I look at Arsenal when they're all firing and I'd say the next games are all winnable. Leicester here, West Ham at home, Forest away, Man United away, Chelsea at home. There are challenges there, but a good Arsenal side, I'd expect them to win all 5. This Arsenal side, I'd be like, well, where are the goals going to come from? They've got to score first. They're just going to have to grind it, aren't they? They're going to have to rely on their brilliant defence and midfield and hope that they can just get penalties, corners or moments to score goals because... And I don't necessarily think it was any better. Oh, what a chance! And did he? Well, he didn't, did he? Cross came in, got his header on it. It was a good header, but the direction is just off. Heads it about 1 metre wide. That was a holding midfielder's header there. Striker scores that. Do you think Chelsea will slip down the table, says Fraser? I don't understand the financials at Chelsea. I mean, I can't moan about Chelsea when I look at Man United because they got a new owner and he pumped money in, didn't he? But I still look at Chelsea and say, half time, by the way. I still look at Chelsea and I say, well, why did you not buy a striker? Not in January, but why didn't you buy a striker when you spent all that money on Badashil and Fernandes and everyone else? I think it must be so frustrating to be a Chelsea fan, an Arsenal fan. It's certainly frustrating to be a Man United fan when you can see, because you played the game or you've watched the game, you know how football works. And people who get football, you can be 10 years of age and you've watched football for a couple of years. You can be 80 years of age and you've watched it for 70 years. But you watch it and you don't even be a Chelsea fan. You don't even be an Arsenal fan. You just watch football because you enjoy it. And you'll go, watched Arsenal yesterday. Put Ollie Watkins up front, they'll win the league. Watched Chelsea last night. Yeah, they're a work in progress, but in games like that, they need someone up front who is going to put the ball in the back of the net. And Chelsea and Arsenal's problems are pretty simple. And yet neither club have worked to solve that issue. They've invested in other areas. So I think with Chelsea, between now and the end of the season, the problem is going to be who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And Liverpool are where they are because they have a balanced squad everywhere. And look, Liverpool have games like Everton where they didn't look like much of a goal threat, but they've got options. They've got options in the midfield. They've got options at the back. They've certainly got options up front. They've got the best balanced squad in the league, and that's why they are where they are. There's not anything wrong with Liverpool where I look at it and go, yeah, but if that happens, they're going to struggle. Obviously, if they lose Salah, McAllister, and Van Dijk for 2 months, I think the title race is on. But Arsenal, even with Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, for me, still have a glaring issue. Chelsea, even with everybody fit, still have a glaring issue. Whereas Liverpool have got a very, very balanced squad. So, yeah, I look at Chelsea. Are they going to drop down the league? I think so much depends on, when you look at the league table at the moment, I think so much does depend on I've not got it anymore. Where has it gone? Yeah, let's have a look at this. We will talk about the Arsenal game, but it sort of fits in with this anyway. When I look at that league table at the moment, and I look at whether Chelsea are going to drop down, I think Newcastle are quite consistent. Man City are better than 5th. No matter how shit you think they are, they shouldn't be where they are. I don't see Man City not finishing in the top 5. Bournemouth are an unknown quantity. Nottingham Forest are an unknown quantity. Brighton are ridiculously inconsistent. I wouldn't worry about them. And Villa could be a second half glow up of the season because of what they did in January. I like what they did in the window. So Villa are a threat. Fulham aren't going to get in the top 5. Villa are a threat. Newcastle are a threat. Man City are a threat. And Bournemouth and Brighton and Forest are sort of the unknown. So if you're Chelsea, you're sort of looking at it, and I understand the negativity, but they've got to sweep that negativity aside and go, at the start of the season, if we got top 5, you'd have bit your hand off, and you put yourself in a decent position to do it. But there has been some mistakes, of course. There has been some mistakes, and I mean, what did Chelsea do in January? Did they actually do anything? I mean, I understand why they wanted Garnacho. I really do. I think Garnacho would have been a very good signing for them. I didn't really understand why they were doing that because they've got so many wingers. But then you look at the wingers they've got, I understand why they wanted to do that. But strikers-wise, yeah, that's the one that sort of looks bad for me. Pensby Lad says, Liverpool and Everton charged for Wednesday's game. Who wasn't charged? Oliver. Yeah, well, mate, I knew that was coming a million miles off. Yeah, the FA don't know their arse from their elbow. They're absolutely incredibly bad. But I think we've all got experience of that, haven't we? Everybody who seems to be in power in football hasn't got a bloody clue about football. That can't be good. 3 out for United. I've done that one as well. Fabrizio says Mainu's out for weeks. Yes. It's 0-0 here at the moment. Let's have a look at the stats. I think this is going to make for quite interesting reading. I've not been looking at it when it's been going around the screen. Some of you might have done. There we go. So yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, this is problematic for Arsenal because you've got to win. You can't draw. You have to win. 63% possession, 1 shot on target. Now, from Leicester's point of view, they're home and hosed. They're dry. No one's going to criticise Leicester for their stats board there. But for Arsenal, a last-minute equaliser for Everton to keep the title alive, you've got to come to Leicester with a little bit more than 1 shot on target. Look, Leicester have had the best chance of the game with that header from Ndidi. So I look at Arsenal and I'm like, they seem to have the mental block that we all have. How are they going to put up a fight against a team that's better than them? Look, Liverpool. I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I would prefer Arsenal to win the league. I don't want Liverpool to win the title in February. I would prefer to have a title race until May. Liverpool play Arsenal in May, 3 games out from the end. I want a title race. But obviously, logically, what we want isn't always homed in reality. And the harsh reality is, I think we all know Liverpool are a better team than Arsenal. Even Arsenal fans know it. So in some title races, you'd go, oh, you know, they've just been unlucky. They actually are as good, but they're not. They're not as good as Liverpool. Liverpool are the best team in the league, and they've been the best team in the league since August. But that doesn't mean Arsenal can't finish strongly. And I look at Arsenal today, and I know they don't have Martinelli, and I know they don't have Hazard, and I think Saka is a huge, huge loss for them. But they've got to do more. You've got to win this game. And I think at the moment, what Arsenal are doing, and I've seen it a few times, is they're sort of like, let's be compact, let's be organised, and let's hope to get something at the other end and take our chance. And they might regret that. I think they've got to go more on the front foot, certainly. Think Chelsea will slip down the table, says Fraser. Thank you very much. What did I say Hazard in? Somebody said you said Hazard. I don't know what I said Hazard in relation to. So if someone gives me some context, that would be great. Not the best, but Liverpool is definitely the most consistent in the league and the Champions League. Arkin says Leicester had a better shot in 2 minutes than Arsenal in the whole half. Yeah. Havertz. Oh, I said Hazard instead of Havertz. I mean, I bet they wish they had Hazard. Yeah, look, what would I do? What would you do if I was Arsenal? There's nothing on the bench, attacking-wise. There's nothing in the midfield, attacking-wise. You can't put Declan Rice up front or Odegaard up front. So you have got to go with Sterling, Trossard and Nwaneri. But I think you've got to almost mix it up a little bit. I've seen Declan Rice trying to move into the attack at times, and I think you do need to do that a little bit because it's logical, right? If you're playing against Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, Leicester are shitting themselves. You put them up against what they're up against today, they're going to get confident. They're going to grow into the game. They're going to start to sense they can win the game. And if they win the game, they're out the bottom 3. So Leicester are dangerous. So if I'm Arteta, I'm looking at it and I'm going, look, they're not scared of my front 3. So unless I get a moment or a set piece or something, I might be dropping points here. So I know I've got a really strong centre-back pairing. And I know I've got a really good midfield. So I'm thinking, how do I get support to my attackers? And I've got to look at my fullbacks. I've got to look at my fullbacks to join the attack. And I've got to look at my midfielders to get more numbers into the box. So that's a risk, but you are playing Leicester. I think they're giving Leicester too much respect at the moment. And I think they've got to win this game. And I think the first 45 minutes from Arsenal was, let's keep it tight, let's score a goal, let's hold on to what we've got. And that might bite them in the arse. I think they've got to go to win the game. They've got to open the game up in the second half because they're almost playing Leicester's game here, where it's like, it's just very, very equal. And that's a bit of a gamble. Like, you might win it 1-0, but if they... I said it before, I said it yesterday in the Premier League predictions. Arsenal's problem at the moment is that if they concede first, psychologically, they're going to go, how the hell are we going to score 2? So, yeah, they've got a really strong defence, they've got a really strong midfield, and they would hope that a clean sheet and they get the goal. But they've got to have a way of playing that goes a little bit more risk-orientated because they have got to win the game. And if this game continues like this to 10 minutes to go, they can't just let it stay like that. They will have to go more gung-ho. So I think they need to, look, get the goal. Get the goal, defend the lead and counter. But they've got to get the goal and they've got to get the first goal. Please wish Jodash a happy birthday, says Travis. Happy birthday, mate. Appreciate your super chat as well. Thank you very much for that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are back live at 3 o'clock for Manchester City against Newcastle, which is a 3 o'clock game. Very excited about that. I say subscribe. We are only 70 subscribers away from 303,000. So thank you very much for that. Very much. I'm just getting messaged about something there. Where is my live chat? Do you think Arsenal will win in the second half? I think it all comes down to the first goal in this. But remember what I said. I said it on Premier League predictions and I said it before the show today. I've got a feeling that Leicester get something here today. Got a poll on the go. Will Isak leave Newcastle this summer? Yes, 57%. No, 43%. Here's a question for you. If the player of the year isn't Mo Salah, who is it? If the Premier League player of the year is not Mo Salah, who is it? Van Dijk. Yeah, but to be honest, you're probably not wrong. It's not Haaland. You can swivel on that. Swivel on that. Gravenberg's good shout. Penelope. No, as much as I like Ahmad, there's no way he's Premier League Player of the Year. I mean, look, he's probably Man United's Player of the Year in a very shit team, but yeah, he can't hold a torch to. Isak's a good shout as well. Morgan Rogers, not a bad one, bit out there. Welland. Chris Wood, good shout. Gabriel at Arsenal, I think, is a good shout. I mean, look, people might criticise and ridicule Arsenal, but I don't think you can ridicule the fact that they've had... he's been brilliant for them. And how many goals has he got this season, Gabriel, for them as well? It's been very, very good. They've also got the best defence in the league again. 22 goals conceded in 25 games. So, yeah, I think that's a good shout. Best trio, Benzema, Ronaldo, Bale, Messi, Neymar, Suarez, or Salah, Mane, Firmino. I think Benzema, Ronaldo, and Bale is a better three individuals than Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, but whether that Benzema, Ronaldo and Bale worked even better than Salah, Mane and Firmino is up for debate. I mean, if we're going for individual players collectively, I'd say Benzema, Ronaldo and Bale. If we're going for how they actually worked well together as a three, I actually think that Salah, Mane and Firmino as a three worked incredibly well, and so did Messi, Neymar and Suarez. But, yeah, good question. Jack Morehouse is travelling with the first team tomorrow, says Jimmy. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on the United stand for that game tomorrow. It's a weird one. Sunday 4:30. A lot of people watch it. It's a weird game. I'm sure when they picked it as a TV game, they didn't realise that Man United and Spurs would be so shit. But it is interesting in the sense of it's the battle of the shittest. Yeah, it's a depressing game, but it will be an interesting game as well. Just to see who is worse at the moment. And it'll be quite open as well because of the way Spurs play. Players coming out for the second half here. Attack the Backlog says best trio. Done that one, haven't we? Thank you very much. Appreciate the super chat. Where is Mane now? Where did Mane go after Liverpool? I mean, has he retired? I don't think he has. Mane went to Saudi, didn't he? Is he still there? Yeah, still Saudi, yeah. No, he went to Bayern. Yeah, of course, went to Bayern, then he went to Saudi. Yes. That was it. I thought... Didn't he run his contract down as well? I mean, look, that's a problem everybody faces these days. Players are very switched on to let it go down. So big 45 minutes for Arsenal. They certainly need to win. Do you think it's possible the FA will do a deal to drop 115 in exchange for City not suing them after yesterday's ruling? No. I don't think that will happen. I'll tell you why in a minute when we get this game up and running. There we go. No, I don't think that will happen. I think that there might be some negotiations, but I don't necessarily think the Premier League and Man City's relationship is good. So I think it might be a case of all or nothing. I think this is about reputation and PR and damage limitation. I don't think they're just going to say, oh, forget about all this. Let's just get in a room and talk it out. I think Man City are... Look, I understand Man City's position. They are potentially staring down oblivion. And... Yellow card. I don't think that was even a yellow card. I think it was a 50-50 tackle. He had the right to go for it. I don't think this was even a yellow card. I'll have to see it again. I don't think this is a yellow. Goes for the ball, wins the ball. All right. I thought he did. I thought he'd won the ball. I think he... No, I think he does. He wins the ball. How's that a yellow? Ridiculous. Game's gone. Not a yellow for me. Yeah, go back to Man City, though. I think they've got to... If you're staring down the barrel of relegation, points deductions, transfer bans that could, you know, mess up your club's future, you're going to try things, aren't you? You're going to try things, and I think they have to try things to... They can't just sit back and be like the situation they're in. Ryan says, Liverpool fan here. In your opinion, who's staying or leaving out of Trent, Van Dijk and Salah? If they're leaving, where are they going? I'm not a Liverpool fan, mate, so I don't know what the motivations are. I think Trent's definitely going to Real Madrid. I think that's very obvious. Mo Salah, I don't know. I always thought he might go Saudi because he sort of achieved everything and it's massive money and, you know, he might want to do that. But he's still I still think he's got 1 or 2 years as being one of the best players in the world. So maybe he will stay. And for Van Dijk, does Van Dijk... It all depends on what their personal motivations are. If Van Dijk wants to go and have a season in La Liga, he might go. But I think Salah and... I agree with the Tina Murphy. I think Salah and Van Dijk stay. Trent's definitely gone. Yeah. I'd be stunned if he stays. Good start to this second half, though. A few tasty tackles going in. Who's got the best front three in the Premier League now, says Liam. I tell you what, Newcastle wouldn't be far off with Gordon, Isak and Murphy. I think that's a good front three. Obviously, Liverpool are going to be there with Salah, Diaz and whoever goes in there, Gakpo. Personally think Liverpool's best front three is Salah, Jota and Diaz off the left, by the way. Man City can't be in the equation anymore. I mean, you could say Forest's front three ain't bad, is it? If we're being completely honest, they're third in the league and they're very effective. Here we go. Rice makes that breakthrough. That's exactly what they need to do more of. We mentioned that at half-time. They need to commit into the attack from the midfield and give themselves that extra man, which just causes, you know, just makes it a little bit more difficult for the Leicester defence. Lovely ball into the channel here for Vardy. Not really got any support. And it's a crap pass. But he wins the second ball. This game's starting to stretch a little bit now. Not really in Leicester's interest, that, I don't think. I don't think Leicester need this game to stretch. Trossard, you're miles offside, you twats. You're still offside. Easy tackle. Who's this lad who's come on at right back instead of... was it Justin who went off injured? He's having a good game. Then again, he's playing against Sterling. Right, I'm going to have a sit down now. It might zap my energy, but I have been stood up for a while. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Kalidou Koulibaly. His name's Koulibaly, but it's not Kalidou. Is he in Saudi still as well? That's no way a yellow card for Skelly. He tackles him fairly, wins the ball. Don't you just hate the guy who farts in a plane, says Rub. But don't fly enough to have to put up with that, mate. Amir says, do you think Arsenal are dropping points? Well, I predicted a draw. I certainly predicted that Arsenal would drop points. I'm in the minority. But look, there's still plenty of time for Arsenal. Did you see the Matoma goal, says Pizza? I haven't seen any of the goals from last night, actually. Chose not to watch it. See, as soon as I sat down, I feel a bit tired. Jordan says, Sterling is so bad. And Derby says it's like having 10 men with Sterling. Liam says, who would you take as striker for Arsenal with what's currently available? Look, mate, I genuinely, I can give you like, I think somebody like Osman or Isak or Ollie Watkins, I think all those sorts of players would be really good for Arsenal. But I think that's the thing. What you actually need is a striker. It's not even like, I think if you put Jonathan David up front, all right, he might flop, but he is a striker. You don't actually play with a striker. So you'd be surprised how much Arsenal would improve if you just had a striker. Jesus is not a striker. Havertz is not a striker. Martinelli's not a striker. Trossard's not a striker. These players are not strikers. So I think for Arsenal, the improvement, it's like Man United. Like Dorgu may be the answer, he may not be the answer, but he will look like the answer because he is a left back. We've not had a left back for 18 months. So if you put Crystal Palace's left back at left back for Man United, he'd look really good because we haven't played with one. So I think for Arsenal, you go for the best you can get, but I do think there'll be a massive upside. I mean, look, I know they're interested in Sesko. Lovely ball by Odegaard there, and Didi, yeah, good tackle. Look at Sterling look at Sterling in his Speedos going for a dive. Corner for Arsenal. These are important, although corner Arsenal, we haven't seen the set piece coach for a while, have we? Gabriel's the danger. That looks like a good corner. And there'll be another one. Dwight York and Andy Cole, the best duo in Premier League history, says AT. No, I think, to be fair, I liked Cole and York, but I don't think you could say that they were better than Shearer and Sutton. I mean, that was an incredible combo. SAS. Bergkamp and Wright was good. I mean, Cole and York were good, but I think you've got to be fair and not have red-tinted glasses on. I'm not sure they'd be the best duo at Man United, to be honest. You could argue, I mean, going back a bit, but Hughes and Cantona. Rooney and Ronaldo, says Greg. I mean, were they a front two? No, but I know what you mean. Watch the Matoma goal, first touch of the season, says Steve Wynyard. I'll have to have a look at this later. This game's all going to come down to the first goal. It really is. Bergkamp and Henry. I can't remember with Arsenal, because I'm not an Arsenal fan, the crossover between Bergkamp and Wright and Anelka and then Henry. It's sort of like, I think Bergkamp was there for all three, but I can't remember how it went, like the evolution from Wright through to Henry. Mark, where you put Vardy in your all-time number 9? Goal! No. It was a Leicester chance. He didn't catch it. Another player down injured here. I think it's Timber. Yeah, literally has gone down. Timber. Can you remember that? It's more amongst tree cutters community, but when you cut a tree down, you say timber. It was more on cartoons when I was growing up, to be honest with you. Where would I put Vardy in all-time number 9? I mean, I'd have to go and get my encyclopedia for Premier League number 9s, but I mean, look, he deserves respect because of where he's done it and what he won. So he's got to be in the top 10, I think, but that's without thinking who's in the top 10. But he's got to be in the top 10. Whether you can put him in the top 5, I don't know. Love your stuff, says Jack. You're the beast's knees. It's the bee's knees, but I know what you mean. SAS were menacing, says Keel. They were bloody annoying because they won the league. Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez versus Salah, Mane and Firmino, says Alec. I mean, that season for Manchester United should have been another treble. We got robbed by a referee against Portsmouth in the FA Cup. And who won the FA Cup? Portsmouth. So that should have been a treble. That season was... I don't know whether the 99 team will always overshadow anything Man United achieved ever since, but the 08 team was very good. And it's not that it doesn't get remembered, but because it didn't do a treble, it doesn't probably get as much of a mention, but it was a very, very, very good team with some very, very good results. Lineups are out for Man City apparently. Where would they put that out? Guarnieri on his left foot. Keep him off his left foot. Into the box. Sterling. Could be end of the attack. No, he's passed it backwards. Probably the best thing to do. Lewis Skelly. And now... nice bit of skill, but Gabriel's not stupid. Goes out for a throw-in. Man City Newcastle. Going to be a very interesting game. I don't have the lineups at the moment. They must be on socials. Let's have a look. Edison, Lewis, Kushanavnov, Stones, Vardiel, Nico, Gundogan, Foden, Mamouche, Sabio, Haaland, De Bruyne, Kovacic, Bernardo, all on the bench. Obviously, forgot to mention this. They, of course, have got Real Madrid on Wednesday. So, I think that should have been a foul on Leicester's player there, but Arsenal have ended up with a corner. Ooh, onto the roof of the net. It'll be another corner for Leicester. For Arsenal. Looked like he got a shove in the back, to be fair, but let's have a look. Yeah. The dark arts of Arsenal again. And they've got the corner as well. I mean, that should be a foul. He's literally gone into his back and elbowed him out of the way. So Arsenal benefit from a corner, but... well headed away again, and he gives a foul that time. So far, this game is not giving me confidence for future games. Sterling and Trossard are struggling, says Kieran. Well, Havertz is out for the season. I don't think Saka's back anytime soon. And Martinelli, I think, is out for a month. Matthew Leggett says, it's the beast's knees, not the bee's knees. I've always said the bee's knees. No, the correct phrase is the bee's knees. It's an idiom that means something or someone is outstandingly good. For example, you might describe a laptop as the bee's knees. It's very light and has great features. It came into use during the 1920s. Wanyeri just shoots over the bar from the edge of the box. Beast's knees. Come on. It's definitely the bees. He wasn't far off there, Wanyeri. That's what I mean, a moment. This is what Arsenal need, a moment. And he was, I think he clipped the top of the bar as well. He's got a lovely left foot on him. We saw that against Man City. They need that. Lord McFred says, thanks for the content, Mark. I'm suffering with severe depression at the moment and it helps take my mind off things for a while. Well, I'm glad it does, Lord. And thank you very much for tuning in. And look, the fact that you're acknowledging it is part of the solution in itself. And I'm glad to have you as part of the community, mate. Leicester on a rare attack forward. Horrible ball into the box by Ndidi, but they've still got it here. And Leicester get a corner. Sat down, feel tired again. I can't believe, if you're coming into the chat saying, Mark, Mainu says, Fabrizio says Mainu's injured, you're about an hour late. We've literally been through that conversation. So, corner to Leicester. Imagine if Leicester scored from a corner. It'd be Alanis Morissette. Isn't it ironic? Not going to score from that. Still got it. Oh, he's done him there. Ayew. Interesting cross. Headed away by Rice. They're queuing up. You've got to jump for that, mate. Who was that? FaZe just didn't even jump. Into Vardy. I don't know whether he's offside here. Saliba wins it anyway and boots it clear. Yeah, it's too much of a scrap, this game, Arsenal. They're playing a dangerous game here. Little dink. Right, Ray has got that one. Fish and chips or Chinese, says Harry. I'll tell you what, I do feel a bit hungry. I think for a Saturday lunchtime, I'd go fish and chips. Could lie a bit heavy on the evening. Bad ball by Arsenal there. Still half an hour to go. What are you having tonight, Mark? I don't know what I fancy. It's a bit early because I'm going to have some lunch in a minute. Well, after this. Remember, we're live for Man City against Newcastle at 3 o'clock as well. The 3 o'clock kickoffs. Looking forward to that. What teams do you think are going to get promoted from the Championship, says Osh? I think Leeds are coming up, aren't they? And then it's... I haven't looked at it for a while, but... Aren't Burnley up there? Sheffield United are up there, I think. Odegaard into the box. Keeper. Good defending there, because that's gone for a throw-in. Matthew Leggett says, trust me, the beast's knees is the new slang. It's not 1900s anymore. Fair play, mate. Who do you think will be the top 6 in the Prem, says Nadine. Free kick to Arsenal here. Liverpool, Arsenal. Top 6 is difficult, you know. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. That's 3. Chelsea. 4. Forest. 5. Villa. 6th. Hamish says, if we can't beat Leicester, we've got no business being in the title conversation. Scrap the season and spend big for next. Still got time, mate. It always set piece FC though, isn't it? I mean, this is obviously Arteta's plan to stay in the title race, and I've got to say, Arsenal are not a great watch at the moment, and they haven't been for a while. They've got excuses for that. They've got injuries, but they're just so reliant on a strong defence and set pieces, which is, funnily enough, Arsenal used to be like that when I was growing up. George Graham FC. First five-a-side on Thursday, Mark. It's tiring, says Dan. Yeah, can't beat a bit of five-a-side. Right, Leicester have got numbers here. Oh, Vardy's messed it up. Messed it up. They had numbers forward there, Leicester, and unfortunately they've messed that up. Although, that's a good tackle. Play on. Oh, good shot straight at Raya. Good over Reed. Talking about Forest though, a lot of people saying they'll get top 4. Big game for them. Fulham, 3 o'clock. We'll be keeping an eye on that. They can go and win a game there. And Nwaneri puts the cross in. Edge of the box. Took it off Declan Rice's foot. That's a bad ball. That's a lazy ball by Cordova Reed. But Gabriel will have to go all the way back to Raya. There's a substitution for Arsenal coming on. You'd hope it's an attacking one. Odegaard thinks about hitting it, leaves it. Sterling's so bad. That lad who's come on, that Koulibaly, has pocketed Sterling. Saliba wins a free kick. Any news on the Premier League player court case, says Crispy Lad? Which one's that? Is that the London player that everybody knows who it is? Sterling coming off, no surprises there. Just as I was saying in the first half, you got Rashford, Sancho, Grealish, Sterling. All these players that have got and should have years left in the tank who just seem to have switched off. Too much too soon. I don't know. Lost love of the game. Don't know. Strange. I mean, look, Sterling was a good player. Even at Chelsea, like at the start of last season, I think Sterling looked really good. I was saying he should be getting back in the England team, but second half of the season and this season, he's been absolutely terrible. How do you fall off that much? Mentality, probably, yeah. Has the plant got a name? Says Gary. Yeah, Robert. If you know, you know. Oh, lovely ball into Nwaneri. He's overrun it, though. Goes for a goal kick. He's the only player that looks like he might get something for Arsenal. Declan Rice really is doing what we said at half-time. He's got to form part of the attack. He's got to be that extra man. Well, we've got about 20 minutes to go, plus added time. What did Robbie say? Arsenal win. What a surprise. What do you think about Tuchel in England? I mean, look, Lewis Skelly should be the left back. I can't think of anyone else. Money went to their head, says RJB. I mean, look, people say that in a critical way. Oh, what a cross into the box that was. Moreno, who's on for Sterling. It was a lovely cross by Timber. That's where you need a striker, look. That cross there is David Beckham-esque. It is absolutely Trent Beckham perfect. But you need someone who can get on the end of it. Absolutely brilliant cross. Moreno's not a striker, is he? Come on. That should have been a goal for Arsenal. The quality of the cross was magnificent. Arteta not pushing for a striker in January is criminal, just like Ineos not pushing for more signings, says Chiri. Yeah, but he did, mate. He did push for a striker in January. He said, didn't he, after he was really disappointed they didn't get one. So I think he did want one. I hear some Arsenal fans criticising Arteta about it, but he clearly did want a striker. They didn't get one. Newcastle team is out. Dubravka, Trippier, Shaw, Byrne and Hall, Bruno G, Tonali and Willock, and then Jacob Murphy, Isak and Gordon. It's going to be a good game, that. Man City have made a few changes themselves. No Bernardo, no De Bruyne, no Kovacic. Obviously thinking about the game in the Bernabeu on Wednesday. Right, I'm going to just watch something here because people keep asking me about the Mitoma goal and I haven't seen any goals from last night. So I'm just going to whack it on. We can watch it as well. Oh, here we go. Down the left-hand side. Ayew. Into the box. Oh, God. Right across the 6-yard box. Reyes beaten. And then Lewis Skelly on the back post just turns it round for a corner. And I thought it was going to be a tap in there. Corner to Leicester. Excuse me. Which goal's the Mitoma goal? There we go. Oh, yeah. That touch. Reminds me of me. What a touch. Magnetic. Oh, and the finish is good as well. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, very good. It's all about the first touch. Disasi starts for Villa. Let's go through some of the teams, actually, because the 3 o'clock games are coming out. Villa at home to Ipswich. I didn't think Rashford would start anyway. He's on the bench. Mallon and Watkins start. Rodgers, Ramsey, McGinn, Tielemans. I mean, he's got a bit of work to get in that team, you know, Rashford. Sensio's on the bench as well. Ayew's coming off for Leicester. Fulham against Forest. Jimenez, Iwobi, Smith Rowe, Traore, front four. Wood, Alanga, Gibbs White, Danilo, Anderson, Williams, Murillo, Milinkovic. Such a good defence, Forest, as well. Jorginho coming on and Calafiori coming on. for Lewis Skelly and Partey. I mean, it's not really the sort of substitutions you make to score goals, but they don't have anything on the bench. Like, they haven't got a goal, and they're bringing on people like Jorginho, Calafiori, Moreno, but they haven't got anything. Chiri says, I've woke up to the news of our midfield being completely decimated. We can't catch a break, can we? Dreading tomorrow's game against Spurs. Casemiro's back, Chiri. He'll be fine. Some United fans seem to think he's being treated badly. Corners, they've had loads of corners, Arsenal, Ryan. Not done anything with them. Here we go. Bit of a break for Arsenal. Declan Rice. Wanyeri. Straight at the key. Oh, he's at the post. Well, you say the keeper's good. I don't know what he did there, but that nearly was a goal. And if Arsenal are going to score, I think it's going to be something to do with this young lad. Hits it with his right foot. I don't know what the keeper's doing there. Does he get a hand on it? It's hard to tell. Hits the post anyway. Header away, and another free kick. 14 minutes to go. Carlos B says, watch Arsenal scam a win now. Well, they need to scam a win, mate. I mean, I actually want them to scam a win because you can't. So, as things stand, they'd be 6 points behind Liverpool. And Liverpool win tomorrow, it goes to 9. So, you can't not. You can't not win. I did say that Arsenal were going to drop points today. Not many people would have agreed with me. They haven't dropped points yet, but you can see what I meant. If Arsenal win it or not, it's not been convincing, and you can see what I meant. Fred says, Fred or Dead 123 says, I was at the Brighton game last night. I couldn't believe how good we are. Look, mate, I personally think Brighton, I don't know what Brighton fans think. You probably just enjoy the journey, but I reckon you've underachieved this season. I think with the squad that you've got, you should be a lot higher than where you are in the league. No European football as well. I know, look, it's his first season. It's the manager's first season. They're all getting used to him. I think that's fair to say, but there's still opportunity to climb the league, but I reckon you should have another 6 points. Liverpool are 7 points ahead. Well, they're 6 as things stand. Because Arsenal are drawing at the moment. Would I take Matoma at United, says A-Dig? Of course I bloody would. Parker says, if I buy a ticket to your Dublin show, will you pay for my flight? Only first class. Unfortunately not. Kofi says 6 points is not a big gap. Mate, it's a massive gap if you can't score goals against Leicester. Leicester on the attack here. This is what they've got to be careful about. Bit greedy there. Good run by Odegaard. Into Timber. That's not a free kick. Play on. Odegaard still got it. Leicester just need to keep the shape now. Point's a good point. Keep your shape and counter. Don't do anything stupid. Oh, Rice could have took a tumble there. Timber, thought about shooting. Watch out. Lovely cross. Back post. That's a goal. Yeah, that's a good goal. What a cross by Wanyeri. And Marino off the bench scores the goal. You can't argue with it. It's a good goal. They've worked that really well. Declan Rice and that, as boring as it's been, it's still 3 points. It's still they're surviving. They're staying alive. You can't knock it. Like, it's not been that good, but they've relied on that clean sheet. And they've got that moment, and they can see they're massively relieved by it. And they're just going to have to do this week in, week out. Everybody knows they're weak up front, so they've just got to wait, haven't they? Lovely ball. What a cross. I think Faze is not a very good defender. We've seen this before. And his positional sense is absolutely shocking. But look, they're in the bottom three. They're not going to have Virgil van Dijk at the back. But, yeah, his starting position is too far away from Marino, and it just gives that crossing opportunity. And Arteta's over the moon. Not over yet. The thing about that Wanyeri is he's so good, but plays in exactly the same position as Arsenal's best player. So what they're going to evolve him into when he comes back, going to be very interesting. Yeah, I got it wrong then. Doesn't look like Leicester are going to get a draw. Eight minutes to go. I mean, now that I think it was always going to come down to the first goal, and now Arsenal have got that goal. I don't think Leicester have got the. I mean, I can't really think of a decent chance apart from that Ndidi header. And that's one thing Arsenal have got, a very good defence. And if you can keep getting clean sheets, it's always going to be a problem, isn't it, for teams? Zane says, league is ours. Come on, you Gunners. Puts Greenwood in his pocket. Arsenal breaking away again here. Oh, Vardy misses the tackle. Well, I say tackle in the loosest terms. He was about to trip up Odegaard. The gap would be 4 points to Liverpool, yes. Big week as well. Liverpool play Wolves tomorrow, but they play Villa at Villa on Wednesday night, which could be a massive game, that. How many seats does the Dublin show hold, says Ronan? 1,200. Be a good show. It's a really good venue because it's really steep on 3 tiers looking down onto the stage. There we go. Calafiori. Faze actually makes a good tackle there. No, he's given a foul. Yes, I agree with HD. Liverpool have got some tough games coming up. They've got Man City and Villa away after Wolves, whereas Arsenal after today got West Ham at home. So it could be quite transitional. I still think Liverpool are going to win the league easily. I don't look at this. I don't actually think this Arsenal side's very good at the moment. Like, they're not. They don't look like a title-winning team. They're reliant on really strong defence, really strong midfield, and then grinding out results. When's Saka back? Is Saka like... I know the trouble with Arsenal is they've pretty much got to do this for the rest of the season, haven't they? Is Saka actually going to be back anytime? Oh, lovely. You're going to get booked there, Jorginho. Yeah. Any other games you're doing, says G. Dot. Yeah, we're live again at 3 o'clock for our Man City at home to Newcastle. Could be back in April for Saka. I know it was a bad injury. There's a good foul by Jorginho, that. Take the yellow. Yeah, of course. One of the downsides for Arsenal is even if they get close to Liverpool, they have got to go to Anfield. Which, I mean, I hope we've still got a title race when that happens in May. That phase is crap in the air. He never jumps, does he? Interesting ball. NH Psycho says, hope you're having a good one. Yeah, I mean, it's not been a great game, but I think it's a good result for Arsenal, and it keeps the title race interesting. Odegaard's had a good game, and that's a lovely pass. There's options here. Calafiori powers forward into Trossard. Oh, lovely. What a goal. Marino with 2. Yeah, game over. 4 minutes to go. That's what you can do when teams open up a little bit. And Leicester had to open up a little bit. And it's actually ended up being a really good result for Arsenal. And they'll take a lot of positives from that because they've had to work really hard for 80 minutes. And now a couple of goals makes it look a comfortable result. And they'd have took 2-0 at the start, wouldn't they? All comes from Odegaard, though. Lovely play by Odegaard. Powerful run by Calafiori. Gets it into Trossard. And the cross from Trossard. I mean, this is where Trossard does his most damage. I mean, it's bad defending by Leicester. But it's a very good cross by Trossard because Moreno just basically passes it into the bottom corner. And I just look at this Arsenal side and I go, if you had a bloody striker, you'd be so much better. Maybe play Moreno as a striker, says the chat. Leicester fans are walking out. Yeah. Who is this director of football guy? He doesn't look like he's got a bloody clue. Give Moreno the number 9 shirt. Arteta is a genius, says NAU. Oh, yeah. Arsenal fans, I'm sure you're overjoyed by another midfielder becoming your striker. Hey, we don't need a striker now. Havertz will be back next year and Moreno can be his number 2. You need a bloody striker. You know you do. Just puts a little bit of pressure on Liverpool tomorrow against Wolves. I think the interesting thing about Liverpool is that you look at the Newcastle game, last-minute equaliser. You look at the Goodison Park game, last-minute equaliser. That's 4 points. 4 more points they should have. Could have had. Very good subs by Arteta, says Murphy. Yeah, I think Liverpool will beat Wolves tomorrow, but I think the Villa game midweek and then Man City next weekend, those 2 games, if you're Arsenal, you'd be going, surely there's some... I mean, look, worst case scenario, Liverpool beat Wolves tomorrow, gap goes back to 7. Draw with Villa, gap's 8. Arsenal beat West Ham, gap's 5. Man City beat Liverpool, gap's 5, but Arsenal got a game in hand. Could be better than that, but, you know. Foul on Rice. 4 minutes added on. Rashford's going to score against Liverpool, says Ools. Rashford's not starting for Villa. He's on the bench. Malen and Watkins. Rice has took a bad knock here. Nice watch, Rude. Arsenal are back video. Fortunately, I don't have to do a match reaction for Arsenal because I'm back live at 3 o'clock. So there is no match reaction for Arsenal today. Hey, for 80 minutes, I think I was right. I fancied Leicester to get something, but that moments of quality from Nwaneri and Marino's finished 2 chances I'd fancy to finish. I think Trossard and Nwaneri deserve the plaudits for the assists, but look, you've got to be in it to win it, and Arsenal stayed in the game, defended well, and a couple of moments get them the win. Dexter says, have that, Mark. I'm not sure why I'm getting anything. I want Arsenal to win. I want a title race, and I'd rather Arsenal win it than Liverpool. G-Star, thank you very much for your super chat. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. We're back at 3 o'clock on That's Football for Man City against Newcastle. Looking forward to that. We're 10 subscribers away from 303,000 as well. Corner for Leicester. Christian says, what are your thoughts on Nwaneri? He looks special. He does. How old is he? Yeah, he does. He looks very good. It's not been a great watch-along, has it? No, I hope Man City Newcastle is better. But look, Arsenal-Leicester's never going to be... I mean, I was umming and ahhing about doing it, and the only reason I did it is I thought it might be quite a difficult game, and it ultimately was. Arsenal got the job done in the end. I never would have done it if I thought Arsenal were going to win 3 or 4-0 comfortably. He's 17, apparently. Yeah. Very bright future. Man of the match as well on TNT. Mark, I've just tweeted you about Glazers causing PSR issues. You should have a look. Yeah, mate. Do you realise how many people tweet at me? I wouldn't even know how to look at it. You should have just bloody put it in a message on here. Never going to read that. Never going to find it. Apparently, Marino just equaled Højlund's goal tally in 18 minutes. I love these sort of things, Mark, because you think you're really funny, but like Rasmus would score both of those. He hasn't gone and took on 2 players, held the ball up and done things that Rasmus can't do. He scored 2 tap-ins from good service, which Man United don't do. So the joke's on you, mate, because our strikers don't score goals because we haven't got players who put in wonderful crosses like you've just had there. We don't create chances like that because we're shit. Here we go. Ooh, Rice could have been in again. There we go. Final whistle. Right, I'm going to get something to eat because I'm starving. Back on here in half an hour for That's Football. Man City against Newcastle. Well done, Arsenal. Much needed win. Had to capitalise on the Merseyside derby draw. They've done that. They've had to work for it. They still look like they're not going to create many chances. But look, that's 3 points down. That's a game won. That's all they can do. Take care. I'll speak to you in a bit.